Hello and welcome to the first episode of Video Game Cinerama with your host, I'm Mick Doherty, and joining me is Lewis Knight.
What up, yo?
And Stuart Hour.
Good evening.
Well, basically the podcast is going to be looking at video game films, kind of if there's any good points, bad points, what makes them so crap generally, and hopefully able to pick out some good points along the way. Yeah, hopefully.
The problem is we like, as a rule, video game films are shit. Like, there's no getting around that. A lot of people are comparing them to the game and then not as a standalone film, which I know that we'll get onto with our first film. So I'll be interested to see how many films actually stand up as singular films as opposed to actual video game films. So
that's what we'll be looking at, hopefully, if we can kind of separate it from the game.
Yeah.
Well, the first one that we're looking at is Super Mario Brothers. It's actually the first kind of live action, big budget video game film. There'd been previous ones beforehand, but they've been all kind of Japanese animated releases. It was released back in '93, starring Bob Hoskins as Mario, John Leguizamo as Luigi, and Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, or Bowser, whichever you prefer. What did you think of the film?
It's really bad. I hadn't watched it in quite a few years, and all my memories of it were bad. You know, there's so much chat about just how bad a film it is. And I was going into it kind of being hopeful, thinking it can't be that bad, but it really is. Like, even if you take out the sort of Super Mario Brothers element of it, it's just a bad film. Like, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It looks, I know it's 93, but it looks pretty shitty. It's bad acting, it's got bad script. It's just pretty shitty.
See, as a film by itself, if you took away the Mario aspect of it, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a decent enough film. It was one of those films that are kind of a bit shit. Well, no, quite a lot shit, to the point where it starts to be pretty good or pretty decent. So, like, in that respect, yeah, I thought it was all right. But as a Mario Brothers film, it was awful. Just awful. They're literally the only thing tying it to it being to Mario is the name of the items. Even some of the items and the characters aren't true to what they should be. So, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Stuff's kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, so like the thwomp boots.
That's the one I was thinking of.
The thwomp boots that you have to reload with bullet bill cartridges, like gas canister cartridges, like that doesn't correlate to anything in the film, because it's not even like the boots are stomper boots. They're jump boots. So, like, that bears no relation to Thwomp or Bullet Bill. It's just, it's as a Mario film, it's shit. But
there's so many things that was just, when I was watching it, I'm like, I can't deal with this. Like being a Mario film, mostly it was Iggy and Spike. It was just no, just I couldn't
see. I thought they were some of the better characters in the films. In the film,
no, they were definitely better characters. But it was just the fact that, like, they were cousins to Koopa.
Yeah, so they were Koopalings, weren't they? Technically,
supposedly they're Koopa or Bowser's kids, but in the games they're definitely siblings.
Yeah,
but they kept going on about cousins. It's a really stupid thing to be annoyed about, but
yeah, no. I completely understand it, and like, I've spare time, I watch weird game theory videos about how the Koopalings may not be his kids, or like they're adopted and stuff like that. So, I mean, that early on in the Mario kind of franchise, I could maybe forgive the fact that they're being referred to as cousins, but let's be honest, that's not the most glaringly obvious mistake in this film.
Oh, no,
so,
definitely.
I mean, as a film, it's kind of a mistake. Just one big mistake. So, there's nothing much else you could say about it being a Mario film other than it is just a big mistake.
Well, there was one. Well, actually, there was two good points that I took from the film that I thought, actually, yeah, this is, well, it's still shite, but it doesn't make it as shite. Basically, was that throughout the games, Bowser's forever kidnapping Peach for no apparent reason other than because he can.
Yeah.
And Mario's got no reason to save her, but in this, he's actually got a reason of he wants this meteorite stone. So he's got a genuine reason for a change, and then Mario and Luigi have got a genuine reason for rescuing her.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting as well that it's Daisy rather than Peach.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's more, obviously, that's Luigi's girlfriend or whatever you want to call her in the games. So rather than, and then they give Mario like a weird girlfriend that works in a tanning salon instead.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't even remember what her name is, and I only watched it finished it about 45 minutes ago. Yeah. I mean, that's a kind of an odd. Well, no, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The film's just scrambled my brain.
See, I don't know if the woman that dropped off Daisy in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that meant to be hitting at Peach, maybe, or like whatever her name is, like Peach or Toadstool or. They never actually mention her name. It's just kind of like, well, she's the daughter, presumably, of the king.
Yeah. Well, they never specifically say that. Do they?
That's what I don't think they did.
I'm not sure if they ever specifically say that was her mum. They just say that King. Oh God.
I don't think they mentioned his name. They just keep saying King. Did they not?
Yeah, the Mushroom King is her dad. But I don't remember ever hearing them specific. Like, they mention her mum, but they don't ever specifically say that the woman at the start of the film is her mum. I mean, it's a pretty safe assumption, but
I think, I'm sure there's somebody says a line about her mother leaving and taking her away or something like that.
Right, okay.
Okay.
I think.
I might have missed that when I was cringing.
Now it all makes sense to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the big issue was. Just talking about the beginning of the film. So the nuns take in this jewel with an egg in it, and a baby hatches out of it. Now, none of them act like they all act like that's a totally normal thing.
Yeah.
And she just carries on about her life to become an archaeologist.
Yeah. That's I've written down a couple of bits of what are now, I'd say, official Super Mario Brothers canon as a result of this film. So Daisy is a good Catholic girl raised by nuns.
Yeah.
And the other one I've got written down is that Mario likes his women to batter him.
Do you know what? That's something else that I noticed was like a weird BDSM undertone to Mario, like particularly with in the club with Big Bertha.
Yeah.
Like, right, okay. I'd never noticed it until this time, and then he asks to be hit again. Like, right, okay, man. Like, you just carry on with your weird sexual deviancies.
Yeah, a bit of dry humping as well.
Yeah.
Like, any redeeming qualities to this film, apart from the Roxette song at the very end. I quite enjoyed that.
Actually, do you know what? The most redeeming feature for me is probably, even though they're totally wrong, is the Goombas.
Oh, the
Because
8-foot tall Goombas.
yeah,
with tiny heads.
the 8-foot tall Goombas with tiny heads that like dancing.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
that scene in the lift.
The scene in the lift, and then
At the end.
towards the end where the Toad Goomba starts playing the same tune on his harmonica. I don't even know why they give him a harmonica in the first place.
Is it not he had it on when he got changed?
No,
Okay.
they give it back to him,
All right.
and he just
Fuck.
has this massive cheesy grin, but they never really explain. And they've given him a mount so he can just wear it without using his hands. And it's like, well, none of the other guys have got anything like that, so okay. But yeah, at the end scene where he starts playing the song from the lift and they all just kind of start dancing. I mean, they're the comical moments of the film, which are, to be honest, few and far between.
Yeah.
Aye.
I think that's one of the kind of big issues I had, is it's got a weird tone to it. It's really uneven.
Yeah.
There's sort of almost slapstick bits. There's wee daft sound effects and madcap chases and things like that, and then it tries to be there's bits where it's trying to be really serious as well,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't get that balance at all.
No. So, at the beginning, you were saying about the slapstick bits with Spike and Iggy, and it's almost a cliche slapstick moment where he runs into the plate glass,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
and that made me laugh out loud. And then it goes to a really dark tone where there's a woman being kidnapped. It's like, oh, okay. What's happening here? Yeah, I just, as you say, it feels really unbalanced.
I think that must have been during the film. There was so many rewrites because initially I think it was maybe a kind of dark, more adult film, and then I don't know if it was the film studio or whoever was no, we want a kiddie friendly film because it's Mario and kids play Mario and they want to see Mario on screen.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I was reading that originally that's what the studio wanted. They wanted a nice family-friendly film. And the director team, who we'll get to later, but Bob Hoskins has a big issue with. They basically went off on their own kind of tangent. Oh God, what are their names? Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. Yeah, they just went off on their own kind of thing, and they wanted to make a darker, more gritty. I don't think that would ever work.
No,
Because of the type of character that Mario is.
you can't really imagine a really happy-go-lucky Italian-American plumber
Yeah.
being dark. It just no.
I mean, I think that could have worked if it had been consistent throughout it. They could have taken it and kind of worked with it and maybe obviously made big changes to it.
Yeah.
They might have got something out of it, but in the end they just kind of went for this weird, it's probably half and half type mixture, and I think the rewrites are probably a big part of that they wanted to make it a bit more kid friendly.
Yeah. One of the writers got fired, and then the guy that took over from him apparently phoned the original writer and saying how much he already regretted taking on the writing project. Oh God, I can't even work and regret taking on projects. You know that you're in for a pretty shitty ride.
Aye. It seems that it's kind of set the tone for video game films. It's like, this is bombed, so like, well, not, they haven't all bombed and not all completely horrible, but it seems like the video game film curse was all down to this.
Yeah. Status now, because people like us like to talk about it because it's such a terrible film. And in that kind of
sort of the so bad it's good type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like similar to something like The Room, which
yeah.
has become a massive cult hit, but is still thought of as like one of the films made.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And are we agreeing with I think it's for IMDb, it's got 38,137 votes and it's got 4 out of 10. Would you agree with the 4 out of 10 or would you get more or less?
I'd be tempted to say maybe a wee bit less.
Yeah. Maybe a 3, 2.5 to a 3. Even though I enjoyed it as a film, which is what really upsets me, is because I enjoy it as a film, but it's not a good Mario film.
No, definitely not.
It's not really a good film, but I still enjoy it.
Well, the acting's not that bad. The acting's pretty decent. There's nobody kind of watching like this is like cringing. They can't act to help themselves.
I don't know. Dennis Hopper's not at his best, I would say.
No.
Well, I don't think any of that are the best, but they're not
True.
awful.
Well, considering both John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins hated the film so much and hated working on the film so much that they got pissed most of the time they were on set. So I think they've done pretty well or they did pretty well considering that they were both smashed when they were filming. Awful Mario short fan films on YouTube, one of which is called Mario Brothers and the Human Centipede. I will put a link in the podcast description just so you can all witness it, because it's just horrific.
I'll take your word for it on that one.
I actually found a pretty good one on YouTube. It was released last year, December 2015, by I think it's a kind of the YouTube it's like a company rather than one person, called Beatdown Boogie. It's a Mario film called Mario Warfare. That's in, I think it's maybe 7 or 8. Yeah, 8 parts.
Okay.
And it's like a completely different take on Mario. As it starts with this kind of faraway shot of a castle, which is Princess Peach and her dad, the king's kind of castle. And you see all the Bowser ships flying by, like the kind of ships you see in Mario 3.
Okay.
They're all flying by, and you've got the Shy Guys, who are like these assassins. The kind of red hoodie tops, kind of white mask, kind of painted that look Shy Guys, and they're going in and just taking out all the kind of royal guards, who are meant to be like Toad and all those kind of characters. They've got helmets with the wee kind of mushroom circles painted on them. And, like, the whole point is to kind of try and kidnap Princess Peach, but it's done really well. Like, you just sit and watching it, and you're like, this is like the best Mario film ever. Some of the acting's like awful. Like, you've got the guy who plays Bullet Bill's a bit kind of cheesy, and some like big massive guy. And the only reason I know it was Bullet Bill is because he's got the kind of teeth as a necklace.
Right, okay.
So it's kind of like, I don't really get who this is, and it's like, oh wait, Bullet Bill. And then you've got Toad, who's like the best royal guard, and he's like the best kind of gunsmith in the whole kingdom. He's just taking out all these Shy Guys. And like the only reason that Mario and Luigi are there is because they enlisted in the army and ended up being the official plumbers to the palace. And they happened to be unclogging a drain when Bowser and the Shy Guys stormed like the palace, and Luigi got kidnapped. And Mario was like, "All right, well, I better go and get him back."
The guy that plays Bullet Bill looks remarkably like Ainsley Harriott. Quite entertaining. So,
It's a good laugh.
yeah. And let's be honest, it's not going to be any worse than the
actual film.
Yeah.
But I'll add a link to that in the description, and anyone that wants, they can check it out.
Yeah. The thing that amazes me the most about this film, the actual film, is that it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, they thought that it was going to be popular enough that they would get a sequel to it, which...
Is there a point that it's beyond wishful thinking? Is there a stronger
Sorry?
statement than that? Is there a stronger statement than beyond wishful thinking?
Well, yeah. I mean, the only other film that amazes me that it ended on a cliffhanger was Godzilla. So,
the 90s one.
yeah, with Matt Broderick.
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah, and although that kind of deserved a half-decent sequel, so...
Well, I found out as well in the ending for that, for Mario.
Sorry?
The wee kind of ending for Mario was apparently lifted straight out of Back to the Future. Now the Doc comes in and it's like, "Oh, we need to go back, blah blah blah, I need your help." Apparently it was just kind of lifted straight out because it looked really familiar, and I read up and was like, actually it was just lifted for whatever reason. So
right.
basically got to the point that's like they can't even be bothered to come up with anything original. We're just going to nick it of one of the better films.
As we said, myself and Lewis talked a wee bit before we started recording, and we said it was very sort of Terminator as well. There was a very Sarah Connor vibe to it, but didn't realise it was pretty much lifted straight out of Back to the Future.
Aye. Well, it's probably a mix of that. You've got like kind of Daisy, who's like the wee damsel in distress, and then coming back with the big guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes from very princessy to very kick-assy in, like, what was it, 3 weeks between where they go back and where she kicks their door in?
Aye.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something went royally wrong at the end of that. Like when they went back to wherever they were. Manhattan? Brooklyn.
Aye, Brooklyn. So I couldn't even think what could possibly be that bad if like the king's back and everything's good and Koopa's dead. I can't even think of any other kind of like big bad guys for Mario.
Donkey Kong when he was Jumpman.
Oh, aye, probably.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's about it.
That would have been pretty interesting.
Would they have existed at that point?
No, probably not. I don't know what the canon storyline is with. Not that it really makes any difference if it canon or not, but
well, it was in Super Mario Land 2 in 1992, so he could have been, although there wasn't a lot about him at that point.
No,
because then he was Mario Land 3 was Wario Land.
Yeah.
So maybe.
No.
It's probably a good thing.
That's true.
Yeah, is there any other... Sorry, on you go.
I was just going to say, just looking at the other the other actors that they wanted to include. So, like Danny DeVito for Mario, which a short fact I can kind of see working.
Yeah.
Arnie Michael Keaton and Kevin Costner were all approached to be Cooper, President Cooper as well, not King Cooper, President Cooper, and they all fortunately turned it down. We probably saved their careers.
Yeah. You have to say that President Cooper, very Trump,
Yeah,
as well, even down to like the posters you see and stuff.
yeah, and that's one of the things I noticed when I was watching it this afternoon, and it's like elect Cooper. It's like a bit Trump-esque with the dodgy blonde hair and general mental attitude.
Do you think Trump's the one that's kind of continuing the cult status of the film? He's just kind of lifting it straight out for his own campaign.
I wouldn't be surprised to see or hear hear Trump call someone a mammal.
Oh, just get time.
Actually, I'm probably going to regret saying this, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear Trump call someone a monkey.
It probably has done
True.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the similarities between Cooper and Trump are actually scarily similar.
Off Cooper's hairstyle. He's a kind of strong gust of wind and some rain.
Just one other another little bit of trivia is that all the devolution guns, the portable ones,
Yep.
Just reading up, and they're just repainted versions of the Super Nintendo light gun accessory, the Super Scope.
I did think that looking at them, because I remember having one of them in the house when I was wee.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that does look a bit like that. Oh, that's just lazy.
It's either lazy or incredibly clever. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's the latter.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame, unfortunately, because had I not seen that, had I not read about that, I probably wouldn't have even noticed. So it's kind of a nice nod to, well, it would have been a nice nod to the people who, it must have been out. To the people who owned one. So, oh god, I can see it now. That's awful.
Did you know that Dustin Hoffman wanted to play Mario in the film?
That would have been a very different film.
Aye,
Yeah.
definitely. What was it he was in? It was Tootsie he was in, Dustin Hoffman.
No idea.
Oh,
I know
I was. And Graduate as well.
Aye.
Hook.
Oh, aye, that's right.
He was in, like, Captain Hook in Hook. So I suppose he's got that cool side about him, but yeah, I still don't think. Well, no, he wouldn't have needed it because he was going to be playing Mario, so it wouldn't have made any difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen the original finale. It had to be scrapped because the way over budget and over schedule. But apparently the finale was meant to be that Mario would scale the Brooklyn Bridge and drop up a bomb down King Koopa's throat.
Oh god.
So I imagine the de-evolution was going to turn him into a 50-foot T-Rex.
Yeah.
Having to scale the Brooklyn Bridge, but that sounds a lot more impressive than this big tyrannical Koopa being reduced to some slime. Just falling out a bucket.
That's a lot more impressive. Well, that would have been a lot more impressive than him just being de-evolved to primordial ooze.
Aye.
The thing is this film could have been so good, and could have been done in a similar style to the way that it was done, but actually have been a good Mario film. But the Morton and Jankel, without putting too fine a point on it, fucked it. So
Do So the best thing I found was Dennis Hopper explaining why he did the film. He was quoted saying, I made a picture called Super Mario Brothers, and my 6-year-old son at the time, he's now 18, said, "Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible guy King Koopa in the Super Mario Brothers?" And I said, "Well, Henry, I did that so you could have shoes." And his son replied, "Dad, I don't need shoes that badly." It's just...
It just seems like no one involved with the film looks back on it fondly, except maybe the directors, who still laugh all the way to the bank when someone buys a copy of it.
Oh.
Idiots like me who I bought at least 2 copies in the last 10 years. So
It's all on YouTube, man. Could have saved yourself the hassle.
yeah,
See, I think
And the money, more importantly.
yeah, the money more importantly.
nobody even seems that bothered that the full film is free on YouTube. Like, every other kind of copyright thing is really quickly taken down, but nobody wants anything to do with it that badly that they're like, nah, just stick it up, leave it. No one cares.
Yeah, that's right. Don't make anyone pay for it anymore.
No. I would know that Bob Hoskins really, really disliked the directors, but he's been quoted as referring to them as the cunt and the cow. Which is his kind of wee pet names for him, I suppose. Shigeru Miyamoto's actually got a quote here as well. He said that in the end it was a very fun project that they put a lot of effort into, but also said, "The one thing I still have some regrets about is that the movie may have tried to get a little too close to what Mario Brothers video games were, and in a sense it became a movie that was a bit of a video game rather than being an entertaining movie in and of itself." Which is kind of a roundabout way. It's a really nice way of saying the film's crap and has absolutely nothing to do with Mario.
Yeah.
Just having a look. It looks like... So, the film did get a Blu-ray release, but it seems to have just been in the UK, from what I can see. Or certainly when it was originally released.
That's probably because I was the one and only person that asked for it, for a Blu-ray release. Which you can buy from HMV for $8.99.
Don't encourage people.
I think if you do that, they'll want to make like a sequel or a remake.
I wouldn't mind a remake. Like, a remake done well that had nothing to do with the original
So
film.
A reboot.
So yeah, a reboot.
So, if they were to do a reboot, who would you want involved?
I would probably have someone like oh god, what's her name? That girl from she was one of the people rumoured to be playing Captain Marvel, but not the one from Game of Thrones.
Emily Blunt?
Emily Blunt? Possibly.
The girl from Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's actually who I've written down on my pad.
Oh, really?
For Daisy, yeah.
Yeah. I probably have her as Daisy. I think Cooper or Bowser would probably have to be CGI.
Yeah.
Just because it wouldn't work as being a live action character. And it's just I don't know who I'd have to voice him.
Well, the name I've written down, and I wasn't sure if this was just CGI or if this would actually be, it would probably need to be CGI, was Vin Diesel.
Oh,
Yeah.
For the voice.
that would work.
Yeah. I could see that.
And obviously get Andy Serkis in to do all the mocap for Bowser and a decent Yoshi.
Yeah.
I think Yoshi wasn't too bad if it was about like 2 or 3 feet taller. Then
Yeah.
maybe. Well, let's see if they did cast Danny DeVito, then Yoshi would have been a realistic size.
Well, that's one of the things I was thinking. Like, there's no way that Mario could sit and jump about on that Yoshi. He's just too small.
Yeah.
Though it wasn't a bad Yoshi, but I didn't realise that he was supposed to be a T-Rex. So,
Yeah.
if that's actually canon, then yeah, that would. I suppose that would technically make him related to Cooper.
Is that a thing? They're
I
not all
suppose.
like, descendant for dinosaurs, except for the king, who seems to be descended from fungus.
Yeah,
Everybody kind of de-evolves into some sort of dinosaur, except the king. Weirdly enough. Person who you'd recast is Mario or Luigi.
Well, I suppose it kind of depends on what kind of film it is. But if it was to go down the more kind of comedy route, the first name I thought of was Jon Favreau.
what is Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see that working.
He's probably a bit old now, but John Turturro from he's been in a lot of the kind of Coen Brothers films and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Again, I'm a big fan of him. He's got that kind of lanky look, but he's probably a bit old now.
yeah.
If we could get a younger him, that'd be fine.
I know if. See, the one thing we've not really mentioned is Toad in the film,
Yeah.
who is an odd character that they specifically mention him when he's being arrested. But when they de-evolve him, he then is some sort of dinosaur character rather than being a toadstool. So
Yeah. Like, they genuinely could have just not mentioned his name.
yeah, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Like, I don't know if anyone else actually uses his name, apart from the bit of the, like, when he gets picked up by the police, who calls him Toad.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else does.
I don't think they do, and I'm pretty sure that that's just to try and crowbar him in.
Yeah.
They could have used any character, to be honest, that plays a part in the film, and it wouldn't have made it any worse.
That was that was their sort of aim at that point then, just try to not make it any worse.
Yeah. By the sounds of things.
Well, you think they would have kind of... Not like they just kind of like seem to kind of make things up as they went along and just kind of shoehorned everybody in. But they didn't come up with a decent surname for Mario. It's still Mario.
Oh.
Yeah, Mario, Luigi, Mario.
How many Marios?
Yeah.
Just 3.
And that's the thing, they highlight that as well.
Yeah.
They don't... They make a joke about it. It's like... Is that actually canon? So is that part of the... Is Mario's surname actually Mario?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
Same.
there's an actual section in his wiki.
Yeah.
So Iwata said he has no last name, which Miyamoto's agreed with.
Yeah.
Although then Miyamoto later changed his mind and said his name is actually Mario.
So that is actually canon.
Oh.
Yeah, shit.
And by the looks of it, it was the film that kicked that off. Wow, that's the one thing we can thank the film for.
Yep.
Giving
Another
Mario
piece of canon.
Yeah, giving Mario a surname.
It was like... it's just the imagination of all those people, though. And the kind of like... oh no, everybody wants a surname, we'll just stick it with Mario. It's like, so they're like, on the kind of, it seems like on the spot imagination is just non-existent in Nintendo.
Like they go, oh, what should we give him a surname? Like, fuck it, just call him Mario. Mario, that'll do. Mario, Luigi, Mario. Let's go down the pub. But they were so just reading. Bob Hoskins said at a film festival, Mario Brothers directing team whose arrogance convinced everyone they're genius, but I'm afraid the genius wasn't there. And we watched. And we watched it completely lost. It started off as a very good script, but the first day they threw the script away and said, we'll do this our way. And when they'd gone over $10 million, their own agent threw them off the set. Then we said, we've got to finish this film ourselves. The editor came down and said, I don't know what we're going to do. We haven't got one single finished scene. So basically, in 2 weeks, we had to cobble together the film. And what could have been a very, very interesting film went up complete rubbish. My attraction was the money in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think we do have Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel completely to blame for this. We can hold them fully responsible for making an entirely shit Mario Brothers film.
See,
As it should be.
I was just reading something else here that the Italian release is actually missing the entire ending of the film. Like, so they they don't even know what happens. Like, anybody else has kind of like watched the original and that was it. But for unknown reasons apparently. So the Italian version ends with the Goombas dancing in a queue outside the devolution machine. That's it. Even the credits were altered as well. Instead of playing Roxette song, they replaced it with Speed of Light by Joe Satriani. So that's all the Italians get is like this really weird film with Goomba dancing. I don't know if they fare better than the rest days actually. I don't know if I would prefer that ending.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just a nice dance out instead of the garbage everyone else got. Right, let's see what everyone else... So, we did ask on Twitter who... what the whole 3 people that follow us thought. So, what's his name? A boy named Posh, or Rob, said, I remember being 11 years old and taking the bus into town with friends, with no adults, to see it. In retrospect, it would have been better if we'd been abducted and murdered. Cool. So,
a resounding childhood memory.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got another one from Sonic Yoda, or Louis. First film I saw in the cinema, Cooper's transformation at the end terrified me.
Cool. Another delightful childhood memory.
Don't know if that's it's just been, I don't know, the awful graphics or whatever, but
yeah. Super Mario Brothers, traumatizing children everywhere since 1993.
Do you think that see the advantage of having this film, like it being so awful? It's like other people that watched it when they're younger and they grow older and they kind of grow up and have kids, they could use this as a punishment tool. Like, if you don't stop behaving, I'm going to switch that off that console and you'll be made to watch Super Mario Brothers
on repeat.
Aye.
Until you learn to behave yourself.
It was like my dad used to hold the threat of putting on really bad country music over us when we were sort of misbehaving, and that would be infinitely worse
Yeah. Cool. So we kind of answered one of them, which one tweet from Ross earlier. He said, if you could remake it in 2016, who would you cast to play the main characters? I say we. Stu answered that. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I would remake it. If I'd go down the same route as the other film.
I don't think they could. I think what if they decide to make one, which I think they will at some point, they'll do an animated film.
Yeah.
And it'll just follow the kind of normal Mario format, I suppose.
Yeah. This film was actually originally meant to be animated, and it was maybe released 2 years earlier. I don't know why they changed it, but
That's a really odd decision to go from making this abortion.
Like I think even if you look at a lot of other or most other video game films, the game itself has at least some kind of like footprint in the real world or link to sort of real life.
Yeah.
Whereas this really doesn't. Like if you look at the Mario Brothers game, it's just they're just so like they're set in their own world. There's no real life element to it. So for somebody to think, yep, we'll make a live action film of that, just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No. But even the world that they live in, Dinotropolis, Dino Hatton.
Dino Hatton.
Yeah, okay. Even Dino Hatton isn't anything like the
Mushroom Kingdom.
The Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
And after they defeat Koopa, I mean, you don't really see it, but like everyone starts getting on and they're like, hey, look, the Goombas are nice guys and they're dancing now. So, like, I don't... Even when they're in a good place, it's still not... Like, with the electric cars and the police officers have got shock patterns, and in fact they've got police officers in this kingdom. I mean, it bears no relation to the actual Mushroom Kingdom in the game, and I don't think they even call it that, or they even reference it as that in the film. So
I don't think... Did they call it anything? Was it?
I don't think it was ever actually... There's a sign for the Kupahara Desert, because most of the... Yeah, more original and imaginative naming again. Yeah, apparently most of the world is desert, apart from Dino Hatton. But again, I don't think they ever actually call it Dino Hatton in the game, in the film rather. It's just
there.
Yeah, it's just a place that exists.
Aye. So all these dinosaurs have evolved to make like guns and electric cars and all that kind of thing, but they can only really tame one part of the desert.
Yeah, it does look like they are expanding, to be fair. When they're building, you see them building the tunnel out into the Kupahara Desert. So, but yeah, it just... Whilst I know I keep saying that it's a good film, but I'm now starting to convince myself that it's not even just a good film. The more we kind of rip it apart, the more I realise that actually it's a terrible film and an even worse video game film. Just nothing in it makes any sense. Like Stu said at the moment, it's just at the beginning rather. It's just got big consistency issues like throughout the film, and it isn't in any way a Mario film. let alone a good one. And it's not not even that good a film now. Just
It's when you compare it to other films that were released in the same year, it just makes it seem all the more worse. So you got like Schindler's List was released, Jurassic Park, Hocus Pocus, like Philadelphia. Like all these are like
see, like Jurassic Park. I mean, the whole point of Mario is that it's full of dinosaurs, supposedly.
No.
And they can't even get the masks and the prosthetics right for those. And they had people like, and then Jurassic Park came out.
Jurassic Park, which still looks better than films that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'd be interested to know, like, if this was specifically written as a Mario Brothers film, or if somebody started writing something else and they tried to kind of crowbar it in. So I know we talked about like certain characters being effectively crowbarred in. So it'd be interesting to, well, I was going to say it'd be interesting to go back and find out like what people were thinking, but you'd probably just go back and tell them to stop.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been it, because like, you see like plenty of like kind of things just now. They'll just kind of hire as many A-list celebrities as they can, just to kind of attach something to it, like a name to it. So that could have been it. It could have just been like this random script, and they'll just Mario's massive just now. We'll just tack that on.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, that would make more sense than what the directors were doing with this, because it just... I don't know. I just, like you said at the beginning, it just makes you sit in like a stunned silence, and you're not really sure what to say about it anymore, other than it's just awful.
Makes you want to rethink your life choices for having sat and watched it.
Yeah.
Again.
And I've sat and watched it at least 4 times. 2 of which since I was in the last, again, probably 10 years. But
that's the thing. It's like we've made this conscious decision to go out, buy it, and force ourselves to watch it again.
Or just watch it on YouTube.
Or that YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, you guys watched it on YouTube. I'm the idiot that went out and bought a copy of it. So.
Oh no, I bought it and then found the free copy.
Oh.
It was just me that won then, didn't pay a thing for it.
Yeah.
See, I should have known not to watch it, because the wee easy open bit of the plastic film was sealed shut. So I should have known then just not to watch it. Not to put myself through that again.
Oh. With that, I think that's probably a good stopping point, because before any of us decides to throw ourselves under a bus, having to watch that again. Although I'm sure we've got plenty of other treats coming up.
Oh,
yay!
Don't forget, we've got the Alone in the Dark series, which is one of the lowest rated films on Rotten Tomatoes. By UA Bowl. So that'll be fun.
You're going to be hearing his name a lot.
Oh,
yeah. How many kind of colourful ways can we describe UA Bowl?
Yeah, so
there's a colour coming to mind. It's a kind of shitey brown.
If you want to,
I don't know if he's still up for it now. Like he usually challenges his critics to a boxing match. If it gets to the point where we're kind of sitting slagging him off as well as his films, that will challenge us to a boxing match. Is that when we know we've made it?
Yeah.
I'm
alright.
That's the only reason I'm on this podcast.
So you could box UA Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd be alright with that. Either one at a time, or all 3 or 4 of us. Yeah.
Handicap match.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be that confident in his abilities that he'll just decide to everybody at once.
Yeah, so the short version is if you want to hear an hour of us swearing about UA Bottle, keep a listen out for one of the next episodes. Whichever one that might be, because there are plenty of them. Shitey UA Bottle films, so yeah.
Right, so that brings us to the end of the first podcast for VG Cinerama. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/VG_Cinerama or on Facebook at facebook.com/VG Cinerama. You can also find me on Twitter at M_Targaryen. You'll find Lewis at Louis_Kong. And you can find Stuart at minute 5072. Feel free to leave us feedback on our Twitter, Facebook, or just come along and have a chat. Let us know what you think of any films, any kind of colourful descriptions you have for any of the films that we'll be talking about. So we'll see you in the next episode of VG Cinerama.
Catch you later, guys.
Remember, trust the fungus.